Today, I want to show you guys one of our most popular items, which is a flower top. One of these tops costs around $250 retail. And yeah, I love them. They make you feel like a flower. We're gonna go through some of the costs that go into producing these and how they're made. I'm Tyler McGillivray. I'm a clothing designer, and this is my studio. These tops are the first thing that I ever made, and kind of one of the reasons that I decided to be a clothing designer. It started as just me painting it myself, and I used really inexpensive material and just bought acrylic paint. And then over time, because my following grew, I learned how to produce them. I think the best way to save money, to be able to do this when you're starting out, is to learn the basics of clothing construction, pattern making, and sewing. I started this company 2 years ago, and I taught myself to sew. And do I know how to sew well? No, I'm absolutely horrible at sewing. It's just about being creative with what you're spending money on and getting that idea across. The total cost, which we're going to break down for you, is around $105 production price, which for us is actually a lot less of a margin than we normally make on pieces. The standard retail markup on most pieces for clothing designers is around 2.3 times the production price, and then again, 2.3 times that price. A lot of designers work with wholesale buyers, so you have to make a margin, and then the store that you sell to has to make a margin. We actually stopped doing wholesale the past few seasons just because I wanted to keep our prices more affordable. Each of these petals takes me about an hour and a half with oil paint, but that said, it's split over the cost of production. So it's not like each individual flower I'm putting in that cost, but it is something to think about in producing the flower, is that you are putting your time and your energy into that pricing. From there, I send them to a factory in New Jersey where they laser cut both a front and a back piece for them. They then become fused together. The actual cost of the bodice fabric is another separate cost. This is a satin fabric, and it's about $7.50 a yard. Each bodice is about 3/4 to a yard of fabric. Because they're so personal to me, and I wanted them to be made as close to home and like as strategically as possible, I did source the fabric here, and wages are very, I think, fair for the factory that we work with. Each flower individually is $70 to produce. Sometimes people just want to see something interesting, and it doesn't necessarily need to be so done up. Once I started to make a relatively stable amount of sales per month, I broke down what I was spending on studio, what I was spending on production, and then saw what I had left over. I pay myself a bi-weekly salary of sorts, which I feel like does sometimes change depending on the sales we make per month. It's important to distinguish my business account and my business budget from my personal budget. It's something that I've definitely been a lot more careful with when I quit my day job. Pretty much everything that isn't the money that I pay myself goes directly back into the business. I feel like it seems really exciting when you make a lot of sales at first. Like you're like, money, like, I don't know, like you're like, oh my God, I have like money, like I have some money, but it's not like, I think it's been something really important to me is to be like, this is not my money. Like it's not, it's the business's money, and it like sits there in my business account. It's very easy to get bogged down by the mass amount of things you're supposed to be good at when you start this, right? You could just so easily give up and be like this sucks. Like the fear of failure is, I think, what prevents most people from doing creative things. If you have the patience and the thought to continue going to get better at it, that's really the only thing that matters. After I graduated, I was kind of like, what am I doing with my life? I made this, it was actually a flower top, like a painted version of it, like one of the very first ones. And I kind of just gave myself a successful ultimatum of being like, if you can sew this, then this is what you're gonna do. And if you can't sew it, then you'll come up with something else.